Coach KP here. Week 1, over and done with. Over and in the books. Plain and simple. What happened? Everybody wants to know how the KP Fumblers did. We lost. That's what we did. Not happy about it. But it's early. Our team has a lot of coming together to do. We're going to do that. We're going to work on that. Come together as a team. And start winning some ball games. Losing, not fun. Happens. Part of building, part of growing, part of becoming a team. You can't just win every game. It's not how it works. That's not how games work. It's not how teams are built. You got to go through the lows before you can get to the highs. That's how it goes. And that's what I'm going to take my team on, like a roller coaster ride. We're gonna lose some games. Probably not some games that people would expect us to lose. Why? Because that's what a coach does. A coach gets his team to come together throughout the year. That's what my job is. Losing, not fun. Part of the game. Somebody's got to lose. Sometimes it's your team. Sometimes that's on purpose. Now, did I do that on purpose? Maybe I did. That's for nobody to know. You know, other fantasy coaches, what do? Nobody knows. But I know. I know. You know, they do research. They look at stats, player performances week to week. They look at strengths and weaknesses of opposing teams. And they predict how their players are going to perform. That's what other fantasy coaches do. It takes a lot of work, a lot of time. What do real coaches do? Real head coaches, you know what they do? They got it easy. Not only do they have to do everything that a fantasy coach does and more, they also have to coach those players individually. They got them there on hand though, don't they? Yeah, that's right. They can talk to them. How you feeling? Right? How's that leg injury? You gonna be able to catch a ball today? You know, those types of things. That's what real coaches do. They can also motivate their players. They can talk to them. They can give them inspirational words, quotes, songs, and phrases to get them to perform at a higher level during that game. So they can do that. You know, they work on their relationships within their team, how players are working togetherness. You know, teams, real teams, they got a common goal. Real players, they got a common goal to work together, play together. That's how it works with real teams. That's why it's so easy for them to win ball games. A little bit harder in fantasy. You know, I don't do any of that stuff. None of it. The way I see it, my job is to infiltrate those teams. My job is to undo everything them head coaches are doing on the real football field and in real practices and in real life. Now you might say, well, why would you want to do that? Because what they're doing is they're trying to get their team to win. I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to get my player to win. That's what Coach KP does. I got to get them to buy in to being great on the fantasy field. And I do that with these videos. I do that with these videos to show them that this could be great too. KP Fumblers could be great. They could be great on the KP Fumblers. Now, does that mean anything for them? They gonna win a Super Bowl? Not necessarily. But they could. They could, and if they're great, think about this. If they're great individually, what's it gonna do for the rest of their team in real life? It's gonna elevate them. It's gonna elevate them to a whole nother level. Now, some of my plays and practices that I'm going to share throughout the rest of the season to help motivate my players who are on these other teams and get them to realize that that team isn't helping them. They're just a cog in the wheel on that team. But on my team, they mean something. When they do something, it means something. It means that we get points as KP Fumblers. And that's what we're after. That's what we're about. We're about wins. And the way you get wins is you get points. And you get points individually from the individual players. So when I can get my team to realize that they're on my team and not on the actual team they're playing for, that's when we win. That's when the KP Fumblers win. Do that with these videos. I try to bring them in, get them motivated. You know, you see other fantasy coaches doing this right here? No, because this takes time. This takes work. You know, they're out there doing all the research, doing all that. Is that going to help them? Those are just numbers. Those are just numbers. Those are just things that happened. Does that equate to being a coach? Fantasy? Some say it does. I'd say 99% of the fantasy coaches out there do it that way. Try to build their teams on information, stats, player performances, team performances. I don't see it that way. Not one bit. My team is going to be built on deception. My players are going to have to go in and act like they're part of the team. Hurts? You can go in and act like you're part of the Eagles. You're really a KP Fumbler. And that's really what you are. And that's who you need to be playing for. KP Fumblers, Coach KP, right here. I'm putting the I back in team. That's what we're doing. That's how we're going to achieve greatness and success on the fantasy football field. Putting the I back in team. Looking ahead, this week coming up, got Jinkers Stinkers. They're predicted to win. Once again, KP Fumblers coming from behind. They're predicted to win. We're going to see how that goes. I tell you how it's going to go. It's not going to happen. We're going to win this week. We're going to put more points on the board. KP Fumblers are going to do it. Made some changes up. Got a new tight end from Denver. And he's going to do well. He's going to fit in with KP Fumblers. And he's going to put points up. And he's going to do his job. You know, this past week, what happened? We had Hurts, our quarterback. Had 22 points at halftime. 22 points. And then he goes around and gives them all back. Ends up with 14 points at the end of the game. That's unacceptable. Now, like I said, we're going to be working on that, bring people together. Higgins, 0. You don't get a 0, Higgins. You're a professional football player. You're on 2 different teams right now, and you need to get it. And you need to get it right. When they throw you a dang-on ball, you catch it. Catch it and run down the dang field. That's what you do. You get a touchdown. Touchdown. That's what you get. Our best performer this week was Elliott, our kicker. Did a great job. Outstanding performance by that young man. Outstanding performance. 18 points as a kicker. Now, other coaches, other teams, y'all look at that. When you say, oh, I'm going to pick a kicker last. Is your kicker getting 18 points? Your kicker getting more than your quarterback? Then you pick that sucker first. That's what you do. But this week, we're going to put this one in the bag. Jinkers Stinkers is going down. KP Fumblers going up. That's what we're going to be doing. Old Dogs got us last week. Good for them. Actually, I think, you know, we gave that to them. We definitely gave that to them. That's the way it goes. That's the way it goes. They got one. They needed it. They needed it. They might have won last year. They needed that success. And that's also part of coaching. You give your other opponents the chance to win. Gives them a false sense of security. All right, everybody. Well, we'll see y'all next week. Good luck to everybody. Good luck to KP Fumblers.